Maybe he's just not talking to you.
No, he's putting in his ears.
Headphones.
Good morning, Shlomi. We're talking to you.
Good morning.
Okay. We should start this. So today's broadcast is sponsored by a whole group. So let me just pull it out. Akiva sent it to me. So we know it's sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Shaya Schachner. Nishmas Shaya's mother, whose Yartzeit is on Friday, and it's being sponsored by Yossi and Vivian Mermelstein, nishmas Yossi's father, Ya'akov ben Avraham Yehuda, whose Yartzeit is Erev Shabbos as well, and it's being sponsored by Reb Malkys in honor of his granddaughter Schachner that will take place tomorrow at 5:30 in Rockaway, and for Aaron, I keep on forgetting, of Aaron Ben Etel.
Toba
Etel. You should have a full shlema.
How's he doing?
I heard the same.
And it's also being sponsored by the Olam Nar Shiur in honor of my daughter's wedding, and I say thank you very much for that. And we should all be gesinnt. Of course, we're all speechless. When I got to Hillel notice in the afternoon, I was like shocked. Suddenly, such a note, and then like 3 hours later, we should only have simchas.
Man.
Yossi Pet had stroke too.
When?
My guy, you know.
Yeah, sure, in Victoria Lakes, the caretaker.
Yeah.
When was this?
Sunday, but it was a mini stroke.
You know, Yosef Maselton came to the chasna, and he told me this is the first time I'm out in like 6 months. He had a major stroke.
Wow, no damage.
I guess not. He looked very good. I would have never known. It's mamish b'chol. Okay. Zok the head of the Gemara. Today's Gemara is a Gemara it's all about the different weird refuahs that you don't want to try at home, but it is very interesting. So let's see what the Gemara says. So we were learning yesterday about how you have to be careful what to touch and not to touch anything before you wash Netilas Yadayim. So Tanya B'nos Naimer, Bas Choyrin Izu, the name of this Ruach Ra that's on your hands before you wash, his name is Bas Choyrin. I don't know if it's a him or if it's a her, but the name of it is Bas Choyrin, Umakpedes, and it sticks to you. Ad sheyirchat yodav gimel pamim. And Rashi says, "B'netilosei l'noit l'yofa," until you wash your hands well. Ad sheyishpoich mayim yofa gimel pamim al yodav. This ruach ra will not leave. Amar b'yechanan, poich mavir bas melech. Poich, if you put it in your eyes, takes away the damage that this bas melech has, that this bas melech causes. And the poison is a dimmer. It stops someone from tearing. Umarba seer bafapayim gives you very nice eyelashes. Who needs mascara if you can use poich? I'm not sure what poich is. Let's see if the article touches what it is. But I still urge you not to try this at home. Let's see what poich is.
It says it's mascara.
It says mascara?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you should try it on then. And mascara also stops you from tearing. Tanya Namihochi, Reb Yosys, Poich Maver Bas Melech, Upoisik Chosedima, Umarber Seir Bafapayim. Mascara is a wonderful, wonderful makeup because it stops you from tearing. It makes your eyelashes grow long, or it doesn't make it grow, it makes it look longer, I guess. And it scares away that this Bas Choyed or Bas Melech ruach and the damage that it does. Shmuel Allen, Rashi says kach shem ma'asav, so it doesn't mean leaves. There was a species of plant called allen. Ein ba mishum refuah. There's no health benefit to it. Rashi says bachilose. Question is to eat it. Lahar einayim b'lei masu. They will not help you for any type of refuah. Tosfos learns differently. Tosfos learns the bechila ma'iri, the ein liluy. So Tosfos does not like Rashi's pshat that eating it has no medicinal value. He's talking about, the Gemara is referring to putting this on your eye. That's what we've been discussing until now. If you want to suggest, like Rashi, that the Gemara is discussing eating this for medicine, how could the Shayas have disallowed gargira, which we're going to see in a minute, given the Michael Brinu, since normal, healthy people eat it. But we're going to learn the next mission that says that anything that's food, you're allowed to eat it even though you're only eating it for refuah, if it's a normal food. Elamai, it's not talking about eating it, it's talking about smearing it on your eye. Zok Gemara weiter. Kus barasa, and Rashi says this is Ali Andra. I'm not sure exactly what species this is. Ein ba mishum refuah. Again, it has no medicinal value. Reb Yosys, keshois, I think, are hops that you make beer out of. Ein ba mishum refuah. They don't need everything refuah. And again, Tosfos learns it's a question of putting it on your eye instead of salve. And Rashi's learning it's talking about eating it. Reb Yosys, kus barasa afili lidikosheli. Rashi says that Reb Yosys was blind, the Ma'arei Naim. But it's even bad for me. Even for me, it's Ma'arei on the kosher. So it can't hurt my eyesight. I have no eyesight. Nevertheless, it's not good for me. If I eat it, Rashi says, it causes my eyes to have pain. So Tosfos doesn't like this either. Tosfos says, "Koshlari imkeina my itzich lamim Reb Yosys, because barasa ein by mishum refuah." Why did Reb Yosys have to say that there's no din refuah, meaning you're allowed to use it on Shabbos? Keeping the mezekas leinayim koshkein lemerapa. If it actually damages your eye, what's the havamina that there could be a problem of using it for refuah? When we read Hachkamar ein ba mishum refuah, kloimer yesh atoin v'soivin sheyesh ba refuah. People think if you take what's that called, hydrocloxin, that the Trump was pushing for COVID. People say the left is fake news, or the fake news says that Trump says it's good for refuah. Just those to visit, it's dangerous, it'll kill you. It could be that it helps in some way, but it definitely doesn't help refuah. All different types of hops are going to be mutter, and Rashi again is lachila b'Shabbos. We look at the Mishnah, like we're going to learn shortly in the Mishnah, that any food that's a normal thing that people eat, even if you're eating it only for refuah, it's allowed to be eaten on Shabbos, because you cannot tell that someone's eating it for refuah. He might just be eating it to enjoy that food. Levar mitruza. Truza you're not allowed to eat. Truza is a type of food that people would not eat normally. Therefore, if someone eats it, it's quite clear that it's l'refuah, and then you have the problem of gzera, mishum schika salomon. Amar Chisda, sharika tavia. Rashi says what it means is to smear lishrak ulatoyach shemen ubeitzim migogolim. So you mix oil together with scrambled eggs, alatzli. They would smear it to baste roasted meat with. Kishucham, when it was warm. Of course, it can't be yatzeledes because they would be cooking them. But when it was warm, at night, they would smear Friday night the roast before they ate it with a mixture of scrambled eggs and oil. Shori tzmuter, so what would be the problem if there's no chash of cooking? We're speaking it out that it's mutter to do because you shouldn't think it's misakin. It's like makabah papish. That's how Rashi uses the sugya, meaning it has nothing to do with what we discussed a moment ago which is refuah, now it's going in to a shaila of makabapatish. Piafube, usher. But to actually scrambled eggs, that you're not allowed to do. Also, the mischaza command the boy l'mishtina b'ktera. If you scrambled eggs, it looks like you're going to throw it into a pot and cook. It looks like you're preparing to cook, so it would not be allowed. Toshis doesn't look like Rashi at all. Toshis looks completely different meaning. And here looks Pirish Rach Mayim Shemesanin Mim'ei Avatiach. It's water that you strain from an Avatiach is a water mill. V'shoishin, and they would drink it kedei l'shalshal. So it was a laxative that they extracted from the juice of a watermelon. Ratzalomer, and what the Gemara is saying, that Shri Katav is mutter, is the mutter l'sanein mayim shebama'ayin. You're allowed to strain spring water, or water that you get from a well, kedamasik. Given the mischal hachi la midikov. Since you could drink it before you strain it, it's not considered a malacha.
Mine's a spring, by the way.
Mine is a spring. Oh.
There's a difference between a spring and an ayin and a be'er. A be'er.
You have a chabur on that.
Yes.
So, please elaborate.
Right, and it explains, to know that difference, you understand Eliezer when he went to find
Mariash,
right?
Rivka.
So sometimes it says bear, sometimes it says ayin. So which is it? Because they're two different things. One is spring, ayin is spring water, and a bear is just a collection of water. And it's not fed by a spring. The difference is a be'er is for behemoths and an ayin is for people. So if you think that, you'll understand that parsha better.
Yossi,
Clarification.
Shkoyach. Yes, Mechi.
question. What's the meaning about that there's makapash by food? Isn't there such? Is there makapash by food? I don't understand the ham.
From this Rashi, I see that there is. I'm in new territory. So I'm learning here that there is a problem of Masaka Bayochel, which is a little bit difficult to understand because every person, before they serve something, they put the final touches on it.
Right. If you make egg salad on Shabbos.
So that's derech achila. So I'm not sure how that works.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that works. So Toys is giving the mitzvah hochi, since you can drink spring water without straining it, unlike the water of a be'er, which are made for animals, loy midi kafet. He's not doing anything. Why do they cannot be eaten at all without straining them? Shopper. Shopper appears rach. So now it makes sense that we're talking about refuah, because according to Rashi, it's not refuah at all. It's merely a question of preparing food. So now we're getting personal. The Visud is eerie. Someone told me a story that Reb Silver was makbid. He never ate food that wasn't his own. Wherever he traveled, he brought his own food along. And he was once by Reb Ritterman's house. And again, he wouldn't eat her food. Rebbe Ritterman was known to be a feisty woman. So he says, no, I have my own food. So he takes his food in his package, opens it up, and he puts it on the plate, and he takes the fork and knife, and he's ready to dig in. And Mrs. Ritterman runs over to his plate, scoops up his fork and knife, and says, well, if you don't trust my kashrus, I don't trust your kashrus. You're not using my fork and my knife on your food. But someone told me a story.
At least she didn't burn up all his clothing like Yalta.
So someone told me that Laser Silver wore a top hat and used to pull cutlery out of his top hat. That's where he stored his cutlery. That must have been after his visit to Baltimore, where he had to eat with his hands. He figured if he's going to bring his own food, he better bring his own cutlery. So the visit of this Zeri was the Rosh Yeshiva, and his wife, they one dinner, they invited over one of the Talmidim to visit the Zeri of the Lay, L'chia Barashi. She prepared this dish to Reb Barashi. Where Zeri was at the time, I don't know. But V'lo Yachal, he refused to eat it. Chia Barashi refused to eat the food that his Rosh Yeshiva's wife made for him. V'lo Yachal. Amr Lay, she told him, who do you think you are? L'Rabach avdilei, I made the same food for your Rebbe, v'achli, and he had no problem eating it. L'Rabach is Rashi says. V'at loy achlus, and for dear pastasnish, you're not going to eat it. So the more is the Iri to me, why did the Iri not eat it? I'm sorry, why did Ziri eat it? Rashi didn't want to eat it. So Ziri did eat it. Why did Ziri eat it? Because he held, Ziri, Noisin Adam Yayin Solo, Umayim Tzlun, L'soich HaMishmeres B'Shabbos. Rashi says a Mishmeres is a place where you strain shmarim. You're allowed to pour these things into a strainer on Shabbos. You don't have to worry about it. What does that have to do with eating basted meat? Since you'd be able to drink the water this way without straining it, lav midik of it. The straining isn't really doing anything. It's not considered straining, which would be also. So too, given the mischal hachi, since you can eat the meat without smearing it, lav midik of it, we don't consider that's called masakin. What happens if someone had a wound on his hand or on his foot and it's swollen? So how do you put down the swelling? You're allowed to use wine to get the swelling down. I guess that means the swelling, I assume, comes because blood gathers in the area and the wine relaxes the wound so that the swelling should go down. And you don't need to worry about it. Are you allowed to use vinegar, which is a more potent drug? Maybe that already is near refuah. When I was by Rav Kahana, Amr, he said chalalo. You wouldn't be allowed to use vinegar. The people from Mechuzah, keeping them a funky. Rashi says miunogenheim. The whole dover shu chozak ksas kosher lipsoren the tzomtza. Any slight, stronger type of ointment will impact them more because they're mufunakim, they're munogim. Therefore, afilu chaminami on them wine also works chaminami masalu, which means it would be usher. Ravina had a massive problem. I'm sorry, not Ravina. He visited Rav Ashi.
Does that mean that according to our ukva, the reason you can use wine is because it doesn't actually do anything?
It doesn't have as strong as an effect.
But by Rava is saying here that by the people in Mechoza that the wine would be effective, doesn't it seem?
So for them, it would not be allowed.
So then, how can it have any benefit? You're not allowed to use it if it has benefit. Or you are allowed to use it?
Because then it's too much. It's too much Mexican refuah. If something seems like it's obviously done for refuah only, then it's not allowed because then there's a gzir of shchik samamonim. But if it's not such a drug, but it also has a benefit, then you'd be allowed to use it.
And back to Reb Chia, why didn't Reb Chia eat it?
Why didn't he want to eat it? Because he was afraid that it was a masakin. Well, according to Rashi Pshat, that it was a question of eating the smeared meat. He was afraid that it's considered kemisakin, and there was a problem of makabah patashan.
So why didn't he consider that a teaching from his Rebbe?
It doesn't say what he did after his Rebbe's wife told him that my husband eats it. It says what his initial reaction was. It doesn't fear us. So I wonder what he actually did. Either one of two things happened. Either he said, okay, if the Rebbe eats it, I'll eat it. Or he said, okay, I'll have to find myself a new Rebbe. So she told him, if you find a new Rebbe, you better find yourself a new meal because I ain't feeding you anymore.
So he didn't witness his Rebbe eating it.
Correct. He had to trust the wife on it.
Got it. Okay.
That's what it seems like from the Gemara. Okay, so Ravina Ikloi Lubei Rav Ashi. Ravina showed up to Rav Ashi's house. Chazi, he saw the Dricha Lechamra Agava Dakari. He saw Rav Ashi was in pain because he had just had a chamor step on him. In other words, his toe got run over by a tire of a car. His chamor stepped on him, so he was in huge pain, and he needed to get the swelling down. So what he used was the Yosif, he was sitting down in pain. So he used vinegar to get the swelling down, and that was on Shabbos, which we said it's near refuah, and there should be a problem of shchika samanim. Amar lei. So the Talmud told the Rebbe, not how are you feeling? Are you okay? What can I get you? Rebbe, how could you use that to put down the swelling? Don't you know it's also? Amar lei gavayad the gavaregel shiny. When it's on your top of your hand or top of your foot, there it's different, because those are very important places, and those are sakanas nefashos, and therefore you'd be allowed to. Now the ArtScroll goes into a whole conversation. So we're going to see the we're going to soon see the Gemara that Gavayad and Gavregel is considered like a sakanas nefashos. So let's just finish the story, and then we'll get into the ArtScroll's conversation. Ikadarmi chazer, he saw the katamas lebechamra. He wasn't using vinegar; he was only using wine. Amar lei, he told him leisavel emar lahad amarava hana b'nei mechuza kivin de mefanki afilu chamra nami masilahu. People who are me'unag, they will be sensitive, and even wine will do the trick. So don't think, Rebbe, because you're using wine, it's allowed. Umar nami mefanik. Rebbe, you're also a ma'unag, you're also a finicky type of person, and therefore, how could you even use the wine for the refuah? Amalay's Rebbe answered, Gavayad, the Gavaregel shiny. Why is Gavayad and Gavaregel different? Amarav Adabra Masna, Amarav, Gavayad, the Gavaregel, Harain Kamakish Kel Shechalal. It's like a life-threatening blow. Umechalin Alein is a Shabbos, and you can be Mechal Shabbos for it. So the article says, we pascha nowadays that medicine is allowed if it's something that's going to put you into bed. But our Gemara seems to say that medicine is only allowed if you're in a matzav of sakanas nefashos. We don't pascha like that. Now gava yad, I assume, is the palm of your hand, and gava regel will be the bottom of your foot. And a wound there are particularly dangerous. I'm not sure why, but they're particularly dangerous. You're
not sure why, because you wear steel-toed boots.
No, I understand how it's easier for it to get injured, but an injury there is more life-threatening that we're matter refuahs because of it.
I don't know. I cringe when I hear of maybe 400 pounds, 1 foot of a horse or of a chamor going on a shoe that was probably one of those sandals, so it was probably even exposed. I don't know. Too much for me.
You know, you think that's dangerous. How about if a woman has a spiked heel and she takes a step back and lands on your toe? That's worse than a chamor. Pounds per square inch, a lady on a spiked heel is probably worse than a chamor on a horseshoe. Listen, I know those spiked heels are very heavy on your toe, because I know what happens when they step on your foot. They go right through. Okay, talk to you more.
They're real weapons.
Yes. Roichten b'meigrar. You're allowed to be roichets b'meigrar. Again, these salty type of waters are therapeutic. So roichten b'meigrar v'aval pi shein maluchen, even though they're salty, shein maluchen k'tzatz, derech lirchotz ben b'choil. People bathe in them normally, not only for refuah, therefore, so you're allowed to be rechet to make grar, the mechamton. The article says Chamton was like a half a mile away, a mil away from Chametferia. We made Asya in the waters of Asya, we made Tferia in the waters of Tferia. Amaloi b'yam hagodo, you're not allowed to bathe in the ocean. I assume Yam HaGodel means the Mediterranean. And you shouldn't be bathing in water that you that you soaked flax in. Why? Because the ain derech or chitzabed, nobody would take a shower or bathe in water that's dirtyish, cloudyish, because you soaked pishtan in it. The only reason why someone would ever bathe in that is el l'refuah, the masu. So therefore it would be usher, because it's clearly the refuah. So too Yam HaMelech, the Moliach Tufa, it's very salty. People only bathe in it for refuah, and therefore umucha chamilsta that he's doing before. Let me be Amishulstein. Fact Gemara, or many we have a stira. We have a price that says Reichten the Meitferia ubiyam agodo. It says you are allowed to be Reichet there. Avulay b'mishra, avulay b'yamishulstein. So kasha yam agodo ayam agodo. We have a stira. Here it says yam agodo allowed, and earlier it says yam agodo is not allowed. So what's the halacha?
Yossi, is Meitferia the hot springs? Does that make sense?
Meitferia, I think it means the hot springs. Reb Yochanan loy kasha. It's not shver.
What's the halacha that you're allowed to go bathe in a hot spring on Shabbos?
There was two people speaking together. I couldn't hear what was saying.
What's the halacha?
Dave's on his phone and on his laptop.
Yeah.
Yes, what's the
halacha?
We said previously you can't bathe in the Chamei Tiberia. So what's going on?
I still couldn't hear you. What's going on?
What's the halacha that you're allowed to bathe on Shabbos in a hot spring?
We went.
It's only a problem if it's l'refuah.
No,
Regular bathing you're
there's a
allowed.
previous Gemara that said that asered bathing in the Chamei Tiberia on Shabbos.
So you have to forget anything to do with refuah. There's like Dovid's asking that bathing alone should be also. I hear. Unless we're talking only Pon of Yosy V'Raglav over here. Pon of Yosy V'Raglav is allowed on Shabbos. So maybe we're discussing just washing parts of your body that would otherwise be mutter. But the refuah would still be also. I'm just guessing.
Maybe this brisa predates the gezerah of bathing in the Chamei Tiberia. So this is ruling out the havamina that you'd be allowed to do it, even when they said it was mutter to do it, you couldn't do it for refuah.
I like that. It's a good shot. David, Victor got you covered. Okay. Zog to Gemara weiter. But we have a stira here. Are you allowed to bathe in the Yam HaGadol? Reb Yochan loy kasha. Reb Meir, Reb Yehuda. There's a Malkys between Reb Meir and Reb Yehuda that would impact whether or not you'd be allowed to bathe in the Yam HaGadol. So Rashi Hadar Tony works to be Yam HaGadol Reb Meir. The Mashvik Kol Yamim Ki Adodi. Reb Meir holds that all of the waters, all the oceans are the same. He doesn't make a distinction between the Yam HaGadol. And the Brisa that says you're not allowed to bathe in Yam HaGadol is going to contribute to he who holds there's a difference. So now we'll see they're arguing not like a Shabbos, they're arguing like a completely different subject. It's not. Kol Yamim Kamikvah. All waters of the world are like a mikvah. Shenemer ula mikvah mayim kar yamin. Divrei Meir. Yudamer Yam HaGadol kamikvah. So Lagabi, what are we discussing mikvah and ma'ayin? There's two distinctions between mikvah and ma'ayin. The distinction number one is in a mikvah of water that was gathered in a place, you're only allowed to toivel in it if it's not zoichlu, if it's not moving. But a ma'ayin, you're allowed to be toivel. You're allowed to toivel it even if it's zoichlu. So we had a Gemara earlier how Reb Chia would make for his daughters mikvoyis, because at the end of the winter, when the snow was running off the mountains and it was flowing down the river, if you would toivel in a river that has a lot of water in it, that's not from the spring, but that's just from runoff. Any water that's just from runoff is called mikveh, and you're not allowed to toivel in a mikveh if the water is flowing. So if they were in a river, that the river is overwhelmed with more water that's just rainwater, and that water is flowing, you couldn't toivel in that water, because you're not allowed to toivel in a mikveh that's flowing. Meima ayin, if it's a spring-fed mikveh, then you're allowed to toivel it even if the water is flowing. Like for instance, the Arizal's mikveh, there's constantly water flowing in and water flowing out. It's not standing water. You're allowed to toivel in that because that's Mei Ma'ayin. But Mei Mikveh, you're not allowed to toivel in it if it's flowing. That's one nafkamina. The other nafkamina is sometimes you need a zov or a zova, depending on the shittas. You're only allowed to toivel in Ma'ayin, they cannot toivel in mikveh. So there are certain mikvahs that are good for stam tmeim, and then you need a ma'ayin in order for it to be a kosher tefillah for a zov or a zov. So Yehuda said, the Tanakama says, the mayor says, Kol hayam kamikveh. All the waters in the world are like a mikveh. Any ocean that you want to toivel in, it cannot be zoichlin, and it wouldn't work for a zov. Shnemer lemikveh hamayim kar yamim. The Torah clearly says that all the yamim are a mikveh. The Reb Meir, only the Yam Gadol is kamikveh, but all the other oceans might be considered ma'ayim. The Torah says in the Ma'aseh Bereshis that all of the oceans were called mikveh. But yamim el sheyesh boy mine yamim harbe. All the pasuk means to say, and it says mikveh mayim kar yamim, it just means that all oceans are fed from many different rivers, so they're considered one gathering because it's the water that has run into that big body of water from all of the tributaries. All of the oceans are matar b'zoichlin, even though the water is flowing. But so he makes a distinction between the psul of zoichlin, which will not apply to any of the bodies of water. Yet he still held it's not considered mayim chayim, therefore it would be possible for a zov and a metzoira to toivel in those waters. Well, the kaddish ben mechavos, and the water they're paraduma, they have to mix ashes with mayim chayim, so it doesn't have this special distinction of mayim chayim, but it would still be mitar b'zoichlin. So what we're saying is, since there's a machloikis between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim as to the status of the ocean of the Mediterranean versus other oceans, lagabe Shabbos, lagabe whether or not it's considered a mikvah or not. So because of that, there's a distinction in its salt content and whether or not rechitza in it would be a problem on Shabbos. I don't get the connection. What in the world does their machloikis regarding whether or not it's a mikvah or a ma'ayin or if it's mayim chayim, what in the world does that have to do with the Shaindel and R Gemara of whether or not it's a refuah? Amor the pligi linyin tumah v'tahira. We see that there's a machloikis like a tumah v'tahira, and in Mishum Kra, Rashi says they're only arguing in a halachic status that you learn out of a drasha from a pasuk. But le'inyin Shabbos mishamis lu, where the Shayas is out refuah, and that has nothing to do with the special gili in the pasuk, whether or not this is considered a mikvah or not. So I don't think that's going to help. So now we have to go back to our stira. We have one brayso that says you're allowed to make rechitza b'yam hagadol, and there's another brayso that says you're not allowed to. What is the explanation as to the stira? When if you're remaining in the mikveh for a long time, that's when there's a problem, because then it's obvious that it's for rechitza. But if you're just in and out, which is how a normal bather would use the water, then there would not be a problem. Rashi says hadishtai begavayu, then it's also the milcha milsa l'refuah k'machaven. No one lingers in the water unless they're doing it l'refuah. Had lo yishtai el rachatz v'yotah, then it's mutter. B'mayu kimtel l'b'shraisa, the second brayso that says that it's mutter to toivel in the Yam HaGadol, you still around the lo yishtai, that you didn't spend a lot of time there. Either lo yishtai, then afilu b'mei mishranami. Then, under those circumstances, it would even be mutter to toivel in the mishra. And the brayso says, that same brayso says, you're not allowed to toivel in the mishra. Al refuah, because Rashi said it's muchach that it's the refuah. So Tanya, we looked in the brayso, roichtim b'mei tferia, u'b'mei mishra, u'b'yam ha'shosadoid. Even if he has wounds, so it's obvious that this person is toiveling only for a refuah. But it says, when are you allowed to? That's shaloi nishta. That's only if you didn't linger there in the water. So then it's not obvious that it's l'refuah. Avol nishta aser. So the Brisa that says that you're allowed to toivel in Yam HaGadol is speaking where it's nice, clean, fresh water, where normal people would bathe in it. But Habaram Shaboy, if it was dirty water of the Yam HaGadol, there nobody would bathe there. So someone who bathes there clearly is demonstrating that he's doing it for a refuah. And Mishra, Nami Lakasha, the steer that we had between the two brises. One brise said you are allowed to toivel in Mishra, and one brise that says you're not allowed to. Depends on how long you stay there. So when it comes to the Yam, if it's clean water, you can stay as long as you want. But when it comes to Mishra, you can only stay there for a short period of time. I'm not sure if that's how the art school learns. If the question is in the Yam, if it's dirty water, are you allowed to go there for a short amount of time or not? So I think he actually makes a comment with Farish on that. Let me just see it in a second. I think he makes this, he specifically discusses that. 1 second, let's see what Lashon more here is. 2, what does he say over here?
Isn't the fact that every yam you're going to wash yourself off, isn't that going to make it considered every yam dirty water?
Why would every yam be dirty water?
Because every time you come out of the yam, you're going to wash yourself off because of the salt that's in it. So wouldn't that make it all yamim dirty water or no?
If he's saying that people did rechitzah, the Gemara is saying that people were reichitz in the Yam HaGadol, that means it was.
But then they're reichitz again. But then they're reichitz again.
Right.
So everybody's reichitz again. So you're always reichitz from the Yam HaGadol. So that means that the Yam HaGadol is dirty water. No,
a lot of tafka. Just because someone rinses off after he goes. Well, first of all, we don't know that people rinsed off. But even if it's true that people rinsed off afterwards, that doesn't mean that people didn't bathe in it, not l'refuah.
Okay.
Right? People swim in the ocean even though they rinse off, and they're not doing it l'refuah. They're doing it just to bathe in. Because let's see the Gemara. So the next Gemara is all about interesting concoctions that were used to heal interesting ailments. Ein oichlin isbion b'Shabbos. You're not allowed to eat isbion on Shabbos. Rashi says, isbion is something that healthy people would not eat. Clearly, if he's eating it, he's only eating it because he has a problem. Why? You're allowed to eat yoy. Rashi says because yoy was a food that people didn't eat. And you're allowed to drink abu brua because it's also something that people would drink normally. And the general rule is anything that's normal to eat, you're allowed to eat it even though you're only eating it for a food. The juice from a palm tree, that's not allowed. The chois ikrin and the certain recipe that made people sterile. Rashi says it's a mashke shekoichin l'soichai ikre yerachis. They would grind into this mashke certain roots ubesamim, and it made people childless. Mipnei shehein yeroika, because they're also used for the sickness called yerokoin. Ve'enimachabrin. Normal, healthy people would not drink this. He is allowed to drink made the column if he's only thirsty and he's not sick. The soch shemin shaloi l'refuah, and he could smear shemin if he's fine shaloi l'refuah. Reb Yosys, Ezov abasra. Ezov is a basra. So Rashi says Ezov deraisa. Shahoch shel azah. They used an ezov sometimes to spritz on the mitzvah. So that ezov, that grass, is this that we're talking about. Hu shekarin abasra barhem. Isbion, the isbion that's listed in our Mishnah, is a barsa. It's a plant called a barsa. I'm not sure what these things are. Rashi v'yeshim arboisim afarshim bar hemeg shegodol b'mokim gemi. It grows where silk. Gemi is like a sticky thing that comes out of reeds, I think. Bar hemeg shegodol b'nahapim. So these are all different plants. I'm not sure what they are. The R scroll doesn't know what they are either. Okay. Bar hemeg ulamar is more chiyura. Ula says that it's the age of the rice of more shiur, the Ezav in the Torah is more shiur. That's what it is. Ula ikle le'Reb Shmuel bar Yehuda. Ula came to the home of Reb Shmuel bar Yehuda. Aisula kamei more shiur. He brought him this plant. Omar, he said, Hainu Ezav d'chsev b'rais. He said, this plant that you brought to me happens to be the Ezav that the Torah talked about. Papi Omar, what it really was shumshuk. It was shumshuk. That's the Ezav of the Torah. So we're trying to identify what this Ezav is. It's mistavra to say that Ezav is shumshuk. Why would I say that? It's not mitzvahs Ezav. The Ezav plant was unique. It had shloisha kolochim. It had three little branches that grow out of it. And there's like 3 pods in each of those little twigs. And the only plant that I'm aware of that comes this way, that grows this way, is the shumshuk. What ailment is it good for to eat this plant? It's good for kukini. Rashi says, I think there's some worms. What is Rashi? If you have worms in your stomach, if you eat this type of plant, it's going to help for it. You don't eat it straight up. You eat it with an accompanying food, with 7 black dates. Mimai hava. What causes this ailment? What gets you worms in your stomach? So tomorrow, if you eat barley flour, that's going to cause you to have worms, but not fresh barley flour, only with the challah. If it's 40 days old and it's rotten, then you might have worms in your stomach. I want to argue that anything you eat that's 40 days old might get you worms in your stomach. And I'm not necessarily going to recommend eating shumshuk with 7 black dates. Make sure those black dates are less than 40 days old. Zok Gemara Vayter. You're allowed to eat a plant called yezer. My yezer. Zok Gemara putnak. It's putnak fulal. I don't know what this plant is. My achlulay. What is it good for? What sickness is it good for? Zok Gemara la'arkasa. Right, la'arkasa means taloim shebekavi. If someone has worms in their liver. My achlulay. How do you eat this? How do you prepare it? With 7 white dates. What causes someone to have worms in their liver? From eating raw meat and water on an empty stomach. Or from eating, umtza is not raw meat. It's roasted meat. It's meat in coals and water on an empty stomach. Or from eating fatty meat, on an empty stomach. Or eating ox meat, on an empty stomach. It's funny how Rashi says liber is cut before you eat. So the stomach is referred to as a lathe. Or me'amguza liber. If you eat amguza on an empty stomach. I'm not sure what amguza is. Does he say, does the Arshka say what amguza is? Let's see if he says what it is.
So Yossi, you shouldn't break your fast on a glass of water?
That's interesting. That says that. Well, maybe only if you have meat with it. I was wondering the same thing. A lot of people, the first thing they eat at the beginning of the day is a glass of water. So what is he? Amguza, eating a nut. Oh, so I'm eating a nut on an empty stomach. Umigira de rubia or from eating, I think it would be our carrots, no? Stems of a fenugreek plant, he says, on an empty stomach. And if you drink water right after it. The liluy, what if this plant that you're eating to solve the problem of worms in the liver, what if the first plan A didn't work? The liluy, then livle tachli chevarta. Eat a white cress, and that will solve his problem. The liluy, this is dias noch chickens, ich hab noch skillas. The liluy, and if this doesn't work, leisev batanisa, you should fast, the less the bisra shamna, and then take, after you fast or break your fast, take fatty meat, lish de'agumri, put them on the coals, the limits garma, and then eat the meat. Rashi yemoitzitz, aver yafa, my oisabasser, the yimit shamna b'fim. You should chew this a good part of this meat, the fatty part of this meat that you just roasted. You should suck it, the lik mechala, and then swallow vinegar, and then those worms will go away. The kadamri chalalo, you should not eat vinegar to try getting rid of these worms. You should the vinegar is not good for your liver. The liluy, and if this doesn't work, then we still have another plan. Laisi gurda dasina. Rashi says take a branch from a snare, from a bush, and Rashi says gruda minasna. So it's bark that you scraped off the branch of the snare, but you have to scrape it off in a very specific direction. The greeting me loyal to soy. You have to scrape it up from top to bottom. So you grab it higher up and you pulled it towards the bottom. That's how it had to have been pulled off. That's how you have to pull the bark off this branch. But don't pull the branch don't pull the bark off the branch from bottom to top. Why? Because the direction of how you pull the bark off the tree, that direction is how the worms are going to exit your system. Do you want it to exit through your mouth, or do you want these worms to exit through the bottom? So don't use bark that you pulled from bottom to top. Then the worms are going to come out of your mouth, and that's not what you want to do. That's not what you want to happen. And cook them in beer. Rashi says either means you should do this cooking in the afternoon, or it means you should do this cooking by your neighbor because it smells very bad, and we don't want the person that's sick to smell the bad odor. He should plug his holes, meaning his nostrils. Rashi in his first cut says his nostrils should be closed, so he shouldn't smell it, because we're going to be forcing him to eat something that tastes very bad. The other pshat is you should close all his holes, because we want to make sure that the potency of this drug will not escape his body, and it will remain inside to have the effect that it needs to. The listener should drink it. The chimavni, now when he goes to the bathroom, of course, all these worms are going to come out. Where should he go to the bathroom? He should go to the bathroom on that same place, on the snare where he peeled the bark off. He should deposit back all of whatever comes out on that branch, and hope that the next guy who needs the refuah starts from a different branch. Zok the Gemara weiter. V'shoisin abuvrua. Drink abuvrua. You're allowed to drink that on Shabbos. You don't have to worry about refuah. My abuvrua. What is abuvrua? Chum triya. It's chum triya. My chum triya. Chutra yichida. It's a single stick, so it seems like it's a type of plant that grows one stem by itself. So it's something that grows without any branches, maybe like a bamboo. It's something that grows without any type of branches out of it. Lemai avdila. What is it good for? What ailment will it heal? Liluy. Rashi says if you drank my magulim, we know we're choshed that maybe a snake drank from it. There's some venom in it, and so if someone is suffering from some type of condition that he thought he got from venom, he should drink this chutri yechidah. The article brings down from the Menachem Meshav Nefesh that you take this wood, they would soak it, and the water that absorbed the taste or the chemicals from this piece of wood, that had the healing properties. The liluy, and if this doesn't work, he should take 5 kalili, which are roses, Rashi's Vreden, I think are roses, the chamsha kusasa the shechra, and 5 koises of beer, nishlekinu v'hadei adadi, and cook them together at the kaima anafka. So I assume as you're cooking it, it evaporates and concentrates, so until it's this smallish here. Benishte, and you should drink it, and that'll solve for if someone's suffering from some type of unknown poison that he might have got because he drank uncovered water, he should prepare this dish for him. Ima Rav Achtavoy bar Ami, the mother of Rav Achtavoy bar Ami, of the lay, who Gavra, she once had a person who was suffering from this ailment, and she prepared this drug for him. And what did she do? Chad kalila, she took a rose, chad kusu the shechra, and she took 1 kos of beer. Sholka, she cooked it. Vishkise, she got him to drink it. And then the shagra tanura, she heated up an oven. Vigarfase, and then she took the coals out of the oven. So she created a very warm oven. Vise levinta begave, she put a block on it. So because the walls, the surfaces of the oven were very hot, and she wanted the person who was suffering to sit in a warm area, in a warm oven. So she cooked up the oven, so it became very hot, like a schwitz, and the block, which is not a conductor of heat, she put inside for this person to sit on. So basically, it was the first known case of a manufactured schwitz, a dry sauna. This was a dry sauna that she created, and what came out of this guy's body? A stream of green guk came out of him, so that sort of demonstrates that whatever poison was inside him is leaving his body. It doesn't say exactly how it left his body, so I'm going to assume since she put him into a very hot place, he sweated it out. It came out of his pores. But it doesn't say, Rashi doesn't say, and the Arshkel doesn't say where it came out of. But I assume if she put him into a sauna, she put him into a schwitz, she sweated it out. Rav Yamar, also the chalba, if you take a revis of milk, from a white goat, that will also be an antidote to this unknown poison that you might have ingested when you drank water that was left out overnight. Rav Huna bar Yehuda Amar, Laisi Esraya, take an esrog chalisa, take an esrog that's hollowed out. I believe it means it's hollowed out. L'chakim means to hollow it out. So chalisa is, let's see what he says over here. Muscle. Oh, you have to take a very sweet esrog, hollow it out, and then l'chak hollow the limla duvsha, and fill it up with honey, and then v'lusva by mililidinura. Put it as amongst the coals in the fire, v'lichle, and then eat it. So basically, you're baking this esrog that was hollowed out, that you put honey inside, and then it cooks together the esrog and the honey. So it's a sweet esrog, sweet honey. So it's a super, super sweet device. It's very, very good for diabetes. The lechle, and then have him eat it, that'll solve his problems. He's not going to die of poison, but he might die of diabetes. Reb Chanina Omar, if you really want to have a good drug, this is the way to go. Take Meir Glayim B'nei Arboim Yoim. Take Meir Glayim that's 40 days old. That is the best. That is the best.
We had this before somewhere.
Yeah, well, we had it that was used for a detergent to clean blood. We didn't have it that if you drink it, it's going to make you healthy. Barzini Lizipur. Now, how much is the right dose? As we all know, when you take medicine, you have to take medicine in the right dose. So Barzini is a shot glass. Take a shot glass if you have the problem called zibur, if you have an insect bite. So Rashi's Barzini is a koshkot moit. It's like a shot glass, like a espresso glass. Shmor Barzina. Ma'oshim Meraglayim. Take take a shot glass of miraglayim, and you drink it. If you had a bad insect bite, you take a shot glass of urine, and you're in luck. The dose is a little stronger. If you were bitten by a scorpion, now I know why it's so dangerous to get bitten by a scorpion, because when you drink the refuah, that'll take you out. Or palga.
Yossi, can he drink anyone's urine or has to be his own?
Well, you have to have found somebody who has urine that's stored up.
Yeah,
for
so what
40
did they
days.
do? They stored it just in case?
You run to Deanna's lab and you grab a sample. Palga riva liluy. And half a riv is if you drank this water that was uncovered and there might be snake poison in it. And the river, and if you take a river, you have a big festa dose, revius aloig, then afilu l'kshafa malu, that's such a powerful drug, it'll even help you if you're suffering from somebody who cast an evil spell upon you. Amar v'yechanan, anigroin v'avangar v'tiraika, these three drinks, Rashi's mayim shenishlak bohem bangri, min esav sheshmoy bangri, ustam anigroin is mei shelak tradin, it's something that you soaked, tradin I think are beets. Kanarina nigrin maya desilka v'tikari, sorry. So if you all these types of drinks, malu bein legiluya, they're good say if you drank water that was uncovered and you're afraid that there's poison in it, bein lekshafim, or if someone cast a spell on you. Haiman de bola chivaya. What if someone swallowed a snake? If you ever swallowed a snake, you've come to the right address. So what should you do if you have a snake inside your body? Luchle keshusa b'milcha. Eat hops with salt, and after you eat hops with salt, you should go for a jog. Filler hate plus a mili, and then go for a jog for 3 mil. Reb Simi bar Ashi choche lahu gavra the bola chivaya. Reb Simi bar Ashi saw someone who ate a snake, and he needed to heal him. But let me ask you a question: if you go to a guy who's in trouble and you say, you know what, I want you to eat this food that you would never dream of eating, and then go for a jog, you're going to have a hard time convincing the guy to do it. So what he did is he dressed up like a figure of authority. If
the guy's already swallowing a snake, it would be so far-fetched to get to eat this stuff. I don't get that, but
so
anyway.
he dressed up like an officer, and it says umiyasrei toifse umiyasrei shapachad v'marutza v'akashish v'tishin koichay umechamim umeisa nachish psuchim. So what he did was he took him and he forced him to eat oichli kshusa b'milcha. He gave him this hops and salt. And he made him run plus a mili. And what happened to this guy? V'nafik mine guvi guvi. The snake came out of him in small pieces. In other words, it worked. This mixture of eating this salty hops and jogging, the guy burnt the snake internally, and the snake came out of him. Reb Simi bar Ashi ate a snake. Also Elio Novi came. He dressed up as someone of authority, and he made Reb Simi bar Ashi eat. He told him to go for a jog. And the snake came out of it in bits. What if a guy gets bitten by a snake? Let's say over the chamer chiyursa, he should take the fetus of a white donkey, vilakari, he should tear it out, and velosve iluye, and he should put it on, I'm not sure where he's supposed to put it, but he's supposed to put it on top of, I guess, on the snake bite. And v'hanimili lo yishtakach treifa. This will only work if the fetus that he took is not a treifa, then, the mother, Rashi says. Right, if the mother was not a treifa, then her fetus, if you take this fetus and you put it on the snake bite, it'll solve your problems. So we'll get to the rest, Bez Hashem, tomorrow. The fascinating Gemara, the remedies that they used to use. But whenever I learned this Gemara, I remember what Chaim Tzvi taught us in his Chabura, that the Rambam said that these remedies don't really work, and the Gra goes crazy in Shulchan Aruch on the Rambam, even claiming that his philosophy feared him, and Avada, every single remedy that the Gemara discussed is emes lamitas, and it's going to work. Okay, everybody have a wonderful day.
Yossi.
Yes.
Shkoyach.
Shkoyach.
Reb Yosys.
Yes.
We have a date for the wedding. It's Monday, 2 weeks from last night.
2 weeks from now. Oh, Mazel Tov. Where is it going to be?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay, it should be the Shah Tov Mitzlachas.
Yosef?
Yes.
Are you still around in Lakewood?
Yes, I'm on 505 East County Line Avenue in the head offices of ID Tech. I want to express a kakar sadoiv to the wonderful company ID Tech, who's been letting me use their boardroom to say shiur every day.
So nice. Question. I have a question, Reb Yosef.
Please.
You know, my shver is Dr. Schulman, right?
Now I know.
Oh, okay. Anyway, last Sunday was his birthday, and I wanted to give him a gift. Is my wife able to bring you over a couple items? Maybe you or somebody that is going back?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Just slip it under the door.
Absolutely. No problem. Let me tell you where I'm staying. Because I'm not staying here. I'm staying at 1482 Tanglewood.
Tanglewood?
So that's between 14th and County Line. So on the same block is the Garibus Measures.
Oh, okay. And do you have a local number I can call you?
I do. I don't know it, but what I could do right now is I could text you from my phone, and then you'll know my number.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So what is your number? I'll text you right now.
718.
1 second. 718.
637.
637.
1140.
Okay, the only thing is that I have no reception here.
Okay.
So if I don't answer the phone, then do you have WhatsApp? If you WhatsApp call me.
Yeah, we have WhatsApp. Yeah.
So then if I don't answer those, WhatsApp call me because they have very good Wi-Fi, but I don't have cell reception. So if you WhatsApp call me, I'll get it.
Okay, Yossi, I tried to call you yesterday a couple of times on WhatsApp.
So he's going to text me, WhatsApp me. He's going to WhatsApp me.
So I just texted
you. You can WhatsApp me. You can WhatsApp me the information.
Yossi?
My wife wants to know if you're driving or flying.
We're driving. We're driving in 2 cars. I have a lot of room, but we're only allowed to bring back $1,600 Canadian, and we're going to have to declare whatever we bring because that's all we're having is packages for people. Both our cars will be full of packages. No one's driving back and forth anymore. So I have my car will look like a truck. I'm actually going to say I'm an essential service because I'm in commerce. I'm a truck driver. I'm bringing back goods. So I'm hoping because of that I won't have to be in isolation.
Shliach mitzvah.
Yes.
Yossi, I tried to call you yesterday a couple of times on WhatsApp. I couldn't. It just rang.
I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated here. When I'm in a place that has a strong Wi-Fi that I can connect to, that's the only time I get any messages. Otherwise, when I'm relying on cell service, I have T-Mobile. It never works.
Can you text me your number? Can you text me your number, Yossi?
Sure. Even with 3 bars of reception on my phone, I still it never rings. I don't get messages. Nothing. It's terribly frustrating. I actually changed my voice message to say that I won't get your message. I don't hear it ringing. Nothing works in this crazy place. Okay. Shmuel, I can text you my U.S. number. I'll text you from my U.S. number.
Right. And I want to tell you that once in the United Nations, the foreign minister of India, in front of everybody, drank a cup of those things we mentioned.
Really?
Yeah.
And was he sick before or was he sick after?
No, he said he drinks it every day. It keeps him alive, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, when Trudeau went to join him, did Trudeau also drink that thing?
I don't know how I could do it, but in India, I guess you can import it. It may make a business of it.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Yossi, are you still recording?
Let me stop it. Sorry.